I'm nervous to watch this second episode. But yeah, just you're welcome to chat in the chat and I'll answer your questions as we go, and I'll just talk. I'm sure I'll have a lot to say about this episode. So go ahead.
I'm living with my parents in New York City. I'm 31.
So maybe now that you guys have seen the show, you recognize Frank's voice now singing the intro song. He's got a good voice, you know, it's not terrible.
I'm taking a chance to find romance out of the basement into my heart.
Brooklyn, New York City. Aw, some family photos.
I have a dog that smiles at me. I say, Kenny, smile. He shows his full teeth. It's my first morning in the Maresca house, and I'm feeling pretty good.
My younger daughter, she has a Sphinx cat. Do you know what that is? He has no hair.
Now that I've gotten to know Frank and his family, it definitely makes me want to fight all the more.
When I first saw him, I thought he looked like Yoda.
Renee is really a character, FYI. Really a true character.
Just had a nice conversation.
With Mom?
Yeah, she's so sweet. She's great.
Yeah. Last night, Frank's mom completely humiliated me.
Mandy, my mother really doesn't even like you.
When we were taking the pictures and you said, you should be happy if I'm in your family. And I said, no, you should be happy to be in my family.
I know Italians and their mothers. If the mother's not happy, the son's not happy. They'll make sure of it. Eventually, I'll get to know her.
Yes.
I have to somehow make this woman like me. And I
So
don't know
in
how
that
I'm gonna do
bedroom, those two girls had to like share that
that.
bed,
Well, sure as hell hope
which I
so.
feel like is a little awkward. Did you get the sense Renee was authentic? Yes, Renee, I felt
Ladies, here's what we're gonna
was
do today.
very authentic in a certain way. Like, that's her personality that you see. I don't know if she had authentic motives in going on the show. Like, I'm sure she wanted to be on TV like everyone else. But in terms of her personality, that's pretty accurate. What you see is her.
I don't know if I like this game too much.
I do.
So this
To
challenge,
show me whether it's a gift, a special talent you have.
Yeah, so
applies
this-
if you want to make something.
this challenge, they like prepped us for before the show even started. Like when we were in holding in a hotel, they went over everyone's talent with them beforehand so that we would be prepared for this one.
I'm up here having 7
And
minutes
I
ago,
was
wondering
actually
what's going
supposed to
on
do
in
something else originally. Frank is actually famous in the reality TV world for sucking on the toes of Tiffany New York Pollard. So I had like made this like little toe and I was gonna present him this toe. And the producers at first were like, yeah, this is great, give him this toe, this is so funny.
Just like materials that people don't normally use. I knew I wanted to do something creative and show him that I can make something out of anything.
But then later they were like, actually, we don't want to do the toe. And so then I was like, oh, well, I'm an artist and maybe I can make some art out of some trash. And so they're like, yeah, that's great. And so then they like gave me this bucket of trash and they were like, okay, and here, go make, you know, art with trash. So I just like tried to, they did give me some good trash. They gave me a plunger, which was very exciting.
I overhear her stories is pretty much hating on all of us girls in the house, and that really pisses me off.
Sorry, Kathy just cracks me up.
Your hour is up, and when I call you ladies, you come down to the basement and meet me there, and you have 2
But yeah, and I like
minutes
dressed
to show
up
me what
like
you
an
do.
artist,
Melanie,
like a
you're
sexy
first.
artist or something to like just do the artist thing over the top.
Now it's showtime.
Wow.
Hi.
All right, we're gonna get right to it.
Okay.
Now here's my timer, my microwave. So you got 2 minutes.
So Melody,
I know that you're very
Melody was
So
actually
I actually
10
drew
years
a
older
portrait
than the rest of us.
of your mother.
And she was supposed to be like the old one.
Why would I want a tattoo of my mom's face on my arm? Are you kidding me?
But Melody is a really genuine sweetheart.
And I'll leave it
really
on,
nice
put my shirt
person.
on, and I'll take it off later on, and when we're done, I will show you what it looks like. How about that?
Great.
Sorry, Mom, no tattoo for you. Hello.
Hi.
2 minutes.
I'm famous for my cupcakes. They call me Carrie Cakes in Brooklyn.
I'm sure that's a lie. That has to be a lie. No one calls her Carrie Cakes. But the narrative is cute.
I kind of consider myself like the icing on the cake.
You definitely know how to bake. Mwah.
Wow, already a kiss.
Best cupcakes I've ever had.
Hi, Frank.
Hey. It's the only thing I got.
This is a great talent.
Okay, go.
Yes, episode 2, they're kissing already.
Now, if I was gonna try to
But
impress somebody, for
there
the
like
first
was
time,
an expectation
just
for
try a
us
new
to like
sport that I
kiss
wasn't
him
good
really quickly, and it's like,
at.
I don't know, it's kind of an intense situation to like try and kiss someone, but there was like pressure to like kiss him.
Take care of her man.
What's going on
I
here?
am gonna give you a manicure.
So this is one of your talents.
Yes.
Okay.
Now that
It's funny because I was just watching
I wanted to know if he was a player.
Vinny Double Shot at Love on which airing now on MTV, and on that show they also had the Asian character giving Vinny the Bachelor a
I
massage.
don't think that's true.
So it's just interesting to see these tropes of Asian women like repeating themselves still, 10 plus years later.
But she's a little scary with those clippers.
I summons you to my court of love.
I love
And
this.
you're charged with possible theft. I really want Frank to know who I am. I'm not just, a pretty
So
face.
Dana was the most mysterious girl to everyone else in the house. Like if you asked me if anything she said was real or genuine, I would have no idea, and I don't think any other girls would know either.
She's hot. Hey, Kathy!
Like to this day, this girl is like, she's like the one mystery person to me.
Kathy! Kathy! Let's go! When I said these girls had 2 minutes, I meant it, and Kathy's late. It took so long. Time's already running. You got one. You better hurry up and start. You got 1
This was
minute.
very Kathy to be on Kathy time.
Talking too much. That's why you're late.
I knew he was angry. My time is already running because I'm late.
And I think Kathy and Frank genuinely really did like each
9
other a
seconds.
lot.
Next time you'll be on time. You're done.
Oh my god, this could not have gone any worse.
Beautiful shot of a trash can, my palette.
So I invited the girls one-on-one to the basement to show me their talent. Kathy was late. Now what's fair is fair. All these other girls were on time.
That's just wrong.
I think she probably did really know how to blow the balloon really well.
This is not going how I planned.
But yeah, I mean, at this point, like off camera,
I was so
like I was still having like a mental breakdown. Like everything seems fine, but like I was like in the bathroom trying to like barf. Like I was like really still a mess at this point. And I called my dad at that time.
Hey, you gonna shoot me or something?
Well, we'll watch this.
So
So, and I was just like really trying to get my shit together just to do this.
Really kinky.
So I had to like cover up my anxiety.
For you out of some trash.
Okay, beautiful.
Feeling nervous because I don't know if he's gonna appreciate trash in the same way that I appreciate trash. My art, I don't take it too seriously. I just try to have fun.
Yeah, so I had like no plan going into this. Like I am not good with my hands. I'm not good with materials. So this was really just intended to be a shit show from the beginning.
Oh, time is up.
And I didn't have much time. So that's what I made. And I talked to Frank like a year after the show aired. And I was like, oh, whatever happened to that art piece? And he was like, oh, I still have it. I kept it in my basement. Like, I keep it in my house. And so I was actually really flattered that he kept the art piece. And he was like, no, I believe in you, Annie. Like, you're going to be a big artist. Like, I believe in you. Like, you're going to do really well. So I'm going to save this. But that was, you know, nine years ago at this point. So who knows if it still exists? Probably not. I mean, since that time, he's gotten married, he's gotten divorced, or he's moved around a bunch of lots. So the plunger art piece could definitely be gone, unfortunately. But in my like ideal world, it would like emerge and like be found again.
I have an edge.
Renee's a really sweet girl, and I really appreciate the time and effort that she put into her story.
Oh, Renee.
It's a lot better when something comes from the heart, and I really appreciate it.
But yeah, so I was super anxious, and I was just calling my dad, being like, I don't know what to do. I don't know if I can stay here. And my dad was like, just get something to calm your stomach and like, just do it. It's gonna, you know, you're gonna be fine. So like, I think I spent like this day like in my bed with like a ginger ale and like Zantac, just like trying to like get my shit together. And eventually I just got more comfortable in this scenario. And the girls also started being nicer to me, I think, because I started to be more normal and regular and just talking to them regularly. And I think also like in the house, was anyone else having similar anxiety? Not that I'm aware of. I mean, a lot of these women are just naturally really outgoing. I would say most of them were. Maybe last week when we saw Stephanie get kicked off, she seemed like she was a little uncomfortable. But I mean, these girls are like naturally really outgoing. Kathy had already been on a reality show before, and if you've already been on a reality show before, that's such a leg up on everyone.
All right, good.
But everyone else, I think, was really excited. Did the women keep their personas when interacting with the other contestants? This is why they call me the Crusher. Yes, I would say probably I was the most disingenuous one, and I think people realized that when the show aired, because there was this big disconnect between the way I was interacting with people in the house and my interviews. Because you see in my interviews, my confessionals, I'm like saying silly things and more goofy and stuff like that, because that was an easier format for me where I could perform more. But like just talking face to face with people, I couldn't perform all the time. So I would interact with people more like this, just the way I'm talking to you now. So like people were like, Annie's the realest girl in the house.
Unlike the other girls, I wanted to tell you a story because I want to connect with you on a deeper level.
This is a good story, actually. And then I'll answer this next question.
I found a lump in my breast, and my doctor said that if I didn't get it removed, that it would turn into breast cancer. So I had to get half of my left breast removed. I had to get reconstructive surgery. So I'm like, well, if you're gonna go in, you might as well go in and go big. It's actually taught me a lot of things in life. You know, life is short. You gotta take chances.
I just love that story. She had lemons and she turned them into lemonades and got big boobs.
You know, I'm not a dancer, I'm not a singer, I'm a real person, and I'm just being myself, and I hope he appreciates it.
That was a good story. Did production provide details to the contestants about exiting in the event that you ever wanted to leave?
That I've ever heard.
Not really. I mean, you could leave.
Lisa's a strong woman.
Well, okay.
And that's what I need.
And Eve, do you mean leave the house or leave the show? Because we weren't allowed to leave the house. They were like, if you leave the house, the show.
Upstairs, and I was like doing my thing in my room.
Like you could, like if you really wanted to leave, like they would take you out.
She is fucking talking shit about.
But
all of a sudden I hear Kathy
I mean,
secretly talking
there was no like
Renee.
process to it.
Renee is my friend, so I felt like she needed to know.
And luckily, I was just like able to get over my shit on my own.
In your poem, that you were talking shit about other girls.
I wasn't.
And she was like, "Yeah, she's talking shit. You better watch out for that girl."
Oh my god,
And the drama begins.
I'm ready to like just think.
See what I'm saying? You
Was the beef between Mandy and Frank's mom something production pushed for? I don't know if production pushed for it, but I definitely think it was manufactured. Like Susan is naturally a nice person, and she definitely amped up the mean, protective mom for the show. So I think maybe that was something that like she like maybe she didn't love Mandy, and then she just like exaggerated it, make it bigger than it probably was, because there just like has to be drama, otherwise the show's boring.
Because I didn't know if he would think that I was a freak or not, and I really want to win alone time with him.
All right, first one. Felicia, your story really touched me, and you're a really strong woman.
I just won the date with Frank, and I'm really happy. I get an opportunity to get to know him a little bit better.
I think what I remember learning on this day was that what I started learning was that I could predict what would happen in a way. Like that day, I remember just knowing that Carrie would win the date. I just spoiled it, but Carrie's gonna win this date. And then each day I started to just kind of know who would win and who would go home, because everything was like the way they would manufacture drama was very sneaky and very forced. So you could just feel things in the air that were gonna happen. Like this day, like on this day, like I knew Carrie would win the whole show, and she did. And it was planned that way as well.
And I'm so happy. I'm happy to actually.
And so like even today, if I turned on like The Bachelor or something right now, like it'd be very easy for me to predict who would win in the end. Just because of the way they like set everything up and edit everything and create storylines and plot lines, it just becomes clear what motives are.
I'm going on a date with 2 other women. That's weird.
Renee is obviously like a TV gold mine, so it makes sense that she went on the date.
Anybody that knows Brooklyn knows Grimaldi's.
How you doing, sir? Hey, how are you? I'm here to pick up a pie named Frank.
You know, I'm a hopeless romantic. I really like to romance.
I also love how they like make everything seem like it's just in the neighborhood in Brooklyn, but like to go from Bay Ridge to Grimaldi's is like far. And like anytime we had to go anywhere, it would take so long because Brooklyn is so big and the traffic is terrible.
Beautiful view.
That was really annoying.
New York up close. There's no other words.
Yeah, like I think this is Dumbo. And to go from Bay Ridge to Dumbo, that's far.
So far I love you.
But it's cute how they can make Brooklyn just seem like this little town.
So far in all the girls?
I think all the girls are very attractive, are very different.
What did the other contestants do during the dates?
Frank is my exact
We
type of
sat
man.
around
He's just a very
and like fucked around. Like
he's not putting on an act.
we didn't have much to do, honestly. Like they would give us dinner and we would eat dinner. I just like to sit in my bed and hang out. We talked. Like we didn't have. I honestly don't know what we did all day. I have like no idea.
I don't need a man. I just want one. I want one to be my best friend. I want one to have.
I hear you. I don't need a woman, but I want one too.
Exactly.
I'm looking to get love started. I want to spend individual time with you. Walk with me. We'll be back.
You know, Renee's great. I'm sure she has some things she wants to get off her chest, so I'm going to pull her away from the rest of the ladies and see what she has to say.
Oh, they're so pissed.
I can't stand her. Do you think? I think she's talking a little bit too much, but she's talking
In the house. To live with Renee, she was very annoying to live with.
Really agitating about her. Like, she's trying way too hard.
But rewatching the show, she comes off so sweet and so cute that it just makes me laugh. But living with her was tough. I remember that. She was irritating.
I may have only been single for 9 months, but I feel like I've been single for years because I have been dead for so long. And I'm
This is so funny to me
for somebody to
because this is like such a
make me feel alive again.
script.
I have had these experiences,
but like she also I think really does believe
I'm
it.
actually a better fit for Frank having these experiences because I've learned from these
I think that is the big thing about reality TV. It's like when people say, oh, is it fake or is it real? It's like, if you believe the lie, if you believe the script, is that fake? Is that real? Like, that's why it's not this binary. It's like somewhere weird in the middle that you can't define it.
Talking shit about me and blah blah blah. I really don't think that Kathy has any class or respect. I just don't think.
Also,
that
it's
she's
funny
for the
because
right
like
reasons. It's just what I'm hearing, and I'm really.
they green screened like a basement behind us.
Keeping your ears open and find a little scoop out on
I
it.
think I'm doing good so far.
See, they
Oh my
did a
God,
kiss.
it's awesome. He's totally feeling me. I'm feeling him.
Oh.
This is amazing.
I'm kind of like grossed out that we all kissed him.
I know a lot.
Yes, with a water heater. There was nothing like that in that house.
That Frank pulls Renee aside for alone time and not us, and I'm really not happy about it.
All right, we're gonna head out. All right, you ready?
Not fair.
Let's roll.
Hi, guys. We brought you.
Yeah, this is what we did.
Hey, ladies.
Like, we had dinner, we cleaned up from dinner, we were chatting.
We just ate. Okay, so we'll see you later.
Looks like
See,
Frank and the
I'm
girls
just
had a
like-
pretty good time on their date. I really like
Trying
all
to
these girls, but only one
stay
can
alive.
win Frank's heart. See you later. Bye.
What do you want to do?
Can we go in the jacuzzi?
Really?
Yes, I remember this night we went in the jacuzzi. I was like scared out of my
It
mind.
was fun, but the idea of jumping in the jacuzzi with all the girls sounds like a great
Like,
idea to
I
me.
remember going to the jacuzzi, that was the time that there was the most pressure to impress Frank, to be with Frank, because we actually didn't get hardly any time with Frank at all. Most of the day he stayed in his basement. So for us to be able to have a chance to interact casually with Frank was unusual. So you like really needed to capitalize on that time and get him to like notice you and try and like stand out.
We're all in the jacuzzi and we're having a lot of fun.
Kathy was, yeah, pretty drunk at this point.
You know, I've had a few drinks today because Mandy, since she's a bartender, she's making everybody drinks. And then suddenly...
Yeah, okay, this was the night Kathy got very drunk. Not the previous. She got drunk the day before, but this night she was very drunk. How did seeing other participants in these group settings inform your performance? That's a really good question. Like, I went into the show with this idea that like I was gonna perform and be this character that I had created in my audition, similar to the person that you see in the confessionals. But when I like saw all these other girls, I was like, they are the true performers. I can't compete with that. So I decided to instead like scale back and just be like my normal self. Because I thought that would end up being weirder to like just see like a random person on a show that like was quiet and didn't really like belong and was just like
trying to comfort her and
not fitting into this situation.
Trying to be there for her,
Um,
trying to help this woman.
And I think it ended up working to my advantage because, like I said, everyone thought of me as the most realist girl in the house, the one who was really there for Frank, the most authentic, the most genuine. And I think that helped create ultimately a character. Like everyone becomes a character no matter what you do.
I don't want you. All I can think at this point is, oh no, what are you doing to yourself right now?
Oh, poor Kathy. Yeah, this was a bad night. Bad night for her.
Kathy's drunk. I feel bad. She's really drunk.
Kathy's intense, and I
Did
like
you have a good idea of how everyone was going to be edited?
away from Kathy. She's really trashed, and I do not want to fight with her.
To a certain extent, because I understood the narratives of how everyone got kicked off, like that was made clear. Like, this girl's too young for you, this girl's too old for you, this girl is weird, whatever. but you
You have to
don't
be kidding me.
like you don't really
Water bottles, you know?
know, and you don't know what the other girls are gonna say. And I remember being really nervous about hearing what the other girls would say during the confessionals. So I was like, oh, they're gonna talk shit about me or something like that.
Your father is sick. He takes medicine. I invited these people in my house, okay?
So this moment, so someone had put vodka in a water bottle. Susan is genuinely pissed. This was the one night that she was genuinely pissed because, as I had mentioned, Frank's father, Gary, was in remission from cancer. And so if he had the vodka, it would have been really bad. So that's why you see Frank go up there, because he knows she's pissed.
It's not all right.
No.
Like, you can see there, she's genuinely pissed. I'm just like,
I suspect that Mandy put the vodka in the water bottle, probably trying to save it for herself for later on.
Is it you?
No. I know that Mandy was making everybody.
I think also, like, in terms of storyline, I wasn't sure how they were going to exactly craft storylines and what storylines would become main storylines. Because there were some things that happened that I was surprised they didn't include. Like, one night we all played hide and seek with Frank. And like the girl who won was going to get a special session with Frank. And they never,
And that's nothing. At this point, I just knew that this woman she just
I don't know
doesn't
what she
like me.
said.
There's something about me that she doesn't like. So, you know what? I'm like, I'm throwing in the towel. This is it.
I do think Susan blaming Mandy was manufactured, but she was genuinely pissed. Yeah, and that's the night Kathy almost went to the hospital. But she was okay.
I wake up this morning and I am so embarrassed about what happened last night.
I mean, it could have been worse. You took off all your clothes and...
Somebody said that I was like really being all over him. Was I?
Somewhat.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Frank.
Yeah.
Could you come up to my room a minute? I want to talk to you.
I mean, honestly, it's a really nice basement. It wouldn't be that bad to live in that basement. But that's not their house, so.
Frank, sit down. I want to talk to you, please.
Sit over there. This is not good.
I just wanted to talk to you about one person in this house that does not belong here. She doesn't fit in. She's a bad influence on the other girls. And I would like you to consider eliminating her right now.
Who?
Who do you think?
Out of all the girls that I think that you don't like is probably Mandy.
And you're right.
And I kind of agree with your mother.
You know, I know my mom wasn't getting along with Mandy, but she wants me to eliminate her? I was just starting to get to know Mandy.
She's not a bad person. She tries. You know, I mean...
She's a bad influence on all these girls.
Yeah, I definitely think that Mandy kind of got targeted here as being like trashy or something like that. Like that was like her stereotype. When really she drank as much as everyone else, partied as much as everyone else.
I really want. Then I could understand.
Was obnoxious, like similar to other people.
Pursue this outside of my house. It can't be in my house. I'm not threatening you. You could do what you want. I can't force you to do it. But I could ask all these girls to leave, and that's what I am going to do. All right?
Well, looks like I got a lot of thinking to do.
God, what am I going to do? This is serious. This is my heart that's on the line. You know, my mom and dad, their input means a lot to me, but you know, at the end of the day, it's really my decision. And if my
at this point, like as we're getting close to eliminations, like I definitely still thought that day like I could be eliminated just because I hadn't had any time alone with him.
Frank comes up
and it was like unclear to us that all this drama with Mandy was going on, so I didn't really know who else might go home. So I definitely thought like I definitely thought I could go home at this time.
Okay, right there, you know, you're a cool girl. It's not the way a romantic conversation starts.
Like you're a cool person. I just don't feel that connection. Like when I look at you, like I don't feel a love connection. And my mother, for some reason, she doesn't see eye to eye with you. And my mother's values really do mean a lot to me.
Okay.
And ultimately, it really isn't up to her. It's really up to me. And when I'm actually asking, I'm going to ask you to leave my house today.
My jaw was like on the floor.
I actually think this is a little
Have a hug.
weird
I'm like, did this just really
because
happen?
Mandy
And it
was
didn't
good
really
drama for the
You
show, but I guess
deserve
maybe
it
her
to go to an
storyline
elimination tonight, and for me to just eliminate
could only
you
go
in
this
front of
far.
everybody when I feel like you don't deserve that. I just don't see a love connection.
If I had to be given a nickname, do I think that might have helped with the performance aspect? For sure. I honestly thought that we would get nicknames.
Just because she cleaned everything, and that meant that I didn't have to.
That's honestly true. Mandy cleaned everything. She was actually like super helpful and responsible. So I felt like she got that end of the stick. But I was expecting us to get nicknames because every show in this VH1 era, all the girls always had nicknames. So like when they told us we were keeping our regular names, I was like actually kind of relieved because I didn't know what kind of horrible nickname I would get. But I do think it would have helped with the performance because it would have given me more of a direction with the character. But I mean, I ended up doing something completely different anyway.
And now that I have some time, I think I want to grab her up and talk to her.
Out of all the girls in the house, I feel like I really haven't talking, to you.
No, I know.
So open up to me. What's the craziest thing you've ever
Aw,
done?
she's pretty shy here actually. She's pretty anxious, I think.
Like, this random person came into my store and he had an afro, and I was just had no friends yet, and I was like, fuck it, I am just gonna go out. Anyways, I met him in Hollywood. We're in this
I do think the way that they portrayed Jess was very unfair because every time I talked to her, she was actually one of the smartest women in the house, I felt. But every time you see her, she comes off as a total idiot, and that's just one thing that I just that was a huge disconnect for me.
Was just woo,
yeah, you can see the way they're cutting her. They're just grabbing little sound bites that kind of make her sound really crazy.
Definitely a girl that needs some focus in her life, and definitely some dance lessons too.
That was a nice talk.
Yes, it was.
I'm gonna tell you exactly what to do, okay? You need to pull him aside and talk to him. Let him talk. Don't talk over him, because you do that a lot.
The only thing that I'm worried about is Kathy, because she's my friend.
So Kathy and Carrie, they both had been told by production that they were going to be the final two. So I think that lifted a huge weight off of them, and they knew that they could do whatever they wanted and they would be safe to the end. So if I had had some reassurance like that, that would have relieved a lot of anxiety. But
I'm going downstairs.
Kathy had so much bad behavior on the show that I was kept being how is she getting away with this? And she, looking back, it's oh, she knew she could act poorly because she would be there till the end.
Apologize and set things straight.
I've been trying to give you the benefit of the doubt. Last night, I tried being there for you, but you didn't even apologize. And
what do you want me to do?
When are you going to show you're interested in me? When are you going to show that?
How am I not acting like I'm interested?
Because alcohol is more important than me. I feel like you really aren't genuine or sincere.
Are you serious? You think I come across as fake?
I don't know what you are yet. I'm still trying to figure this out.
Don't even. You're fucking with me. You're fucking with me.
I'm really not fucking with you. I'm actually done talking to you right now.
I don't even know what to think. I come downstairs to try and talk to him, and we get into a fight. I feel like we're on a roller coaster here. Okay, well, don't act like I wasn't trying to get your attention.
It's time for the most dreaded part of my day. Elimination.
Oh, I like this outfit I'm wearing. Very hipster.
I really hope that Frank doesn't cut me tonight just because I really want him to get to know me more and possibly maybe dance for him again.
Aww, Dad.
I'm really hoping that Frank sends home Kathy because I think that she is a little bit of a troublemaker. I don't think that she is really here for Frank. I think that she talks a little too much and doesn't listen enough.
I'm kind of nervous that I might not get a key tonight because I feel so stupid about what happened.
I mean, you could just hear in her voice that she knows she's not going home.
Come on.
So he's not in a hurry to let one of you ladies leave.
That's it. He doesn't want to let anybody
That's
go.
what I
Oh
think
man,
it
we
is.
used to wait forever for him to come out of the
Hey,
basement.
girls.
Oh my god. And you had to
Frank,
stand there
you're
in
with
heels.
us tonight.
Thank
Painful.
It's nice to see you dressed in something other than your gym clothes.
Yeah, I definitely thought I was gonna get
Mom, come on,
eliminated
you're
this night,
embarrassing me.
but
As
like
you know, I
watching
let
the
Mandy go
episode,
earlier
it's like obvious
this
that
morning.
that's not in the cards.
Unfortunately,
Because
tonight,
like
it's time for one more to go.
they're playing out other storylines, obviously. Like that's an example of like living it. I had no idea of how it would be portrayed on TV.
Renee,
Ah.
will you accept this key to my basement?
See, everyone was so annoyed.
So I decided to give Renee the first key. Not only did I enjoy her story, but she's putting everything out there more than any of these other girls in the house.
Carrie, please step forward. Will you accept this key to my basement?
Of course.
I get the impression that Carrie would be a really good fit for me. She can bake cupcakes, and she's a lot of fun to be around.
Dana? Dana, will you accept this key to my basement?
Definitely.
Melissa, please step forward.
But yeah, I was definitely getting nervous because my name's not being called. I'm like, oh, do you get sent home?
Tammy, will you accept this key to my basement?
Tammy!
I know
We need
Frank
more
and Chris
Tammy.
really like me. They know I'm a good girl.
Tammy needed more screen
I'm
time.
here to stay.
So
Jenny.
funny.
Will you please accept this key to my basement?
Yes.
I haven't gotten much time with Jenny yet, but she's not going anywhere. She's definitely gotten my attention, and our signs are perfect together.
I want Annie to step forward.
You know, everything that Annie does comes from a really honest, sweet place. She's very articulate, and she might be a little out of place, but sometimes I can relate to her.
Melody, will you please accept this key
Yeah,
to
so
my
I was
basement?
so excited to get that key to
Felicia,
the basement.
will you accept this key to my basement?
Because I just knew for the performance, I was so happy. I was like in shock. I did not think I was gonna get picked. I really didn't. Because I was just such an odd duck, and I like felt that. Obviously,
Only
Frank,
2 keys.
everyone could see that.
I'm
I just
nervous
didn't know how I would
Frank
fit in.
Because I had a little too much to drink last night, and Frank seemed really pissed at me.
Come on, get on with this now.
My hands are sweating really bad. I'm breathing really heavy.
No.
Christy, please step forward.
Yay.
Christy, will you accept this key to my basement, please?
And also,
Just
like,
because Christy's hula hooping sucked
it's
doesn't mean
like
I didn't like
I
her.
had gone through all this. It was like I can't get kicked off. Like I had beaten my anxiety, made it on this show. Like to get kicked off would just ruin the performance. I just wanted more time.
hope that my
And I mean, I think
Frank will help me.
when you see these people like nervous to get kicked off, like they just don't want to be off TV. Like you just want to be on TV for as like long as possible. And the idea of not being on TV is like so nerve-wracking. For whatever reason, I don't even know why that's so nerve-wracking, but it just is. Like the thought of like not being on TV and getting kicked off TV is like horrible.
There's only 2 of you left. And only 1 key.
We're down to the final 2, and I'm kind of worried.
It was me and Kathy, and at that point, I just knew it. Kathy would go home.
Aww. See, she's already standing outside. That's such a
Jessica, do you
spoiler.
Of course I want the key.
Because they did our exit interviews. They did one exit interview when we were standing outside. So if you see someone standing outside the door, then you know they got kicked off.
Kathy, 7 minutes in heaven really weren't kind of 7 minutes in heaven. You had a little bit of a messy night last night. Your balloon animals really weren't very impressive to me. Jessica, you're an amazing girl, but I think that you have a lot of growing up to do.
Ooh.
Kathy, step forward.
You know, even though Kathy really messed up last night, we do have a chemistry.
Kathy, will you accept this key to my basement?
Yeah, they definitely did have a chemistry the whole time. It was very palpable to everyone
like
else.
Me. It's either we're gonna fight like crazy, or we're gonna like each other like crazy.
I am so relieved when Frank puts that key around my neck. But
Maybe they'll
I
still
know
get
that
together. I think they're
step
both
up and
single.
Make sure he knows that I'm here for him.
Jessica, I'm not sure you have much direction in life, but I'm really sure that you will be happy wherever you are.
Frank sent me home because, I don't know, I think maybe I'm just a little too, like, happy or, like, go lucky. I don't know. He seems more like, I don't know, more serious, and I'm just not, like, the most serious person in the world.
Well, that's
okay,
true.
Frank, we're gonna go to bed. I'm tired.
You going to bed, Ma?
Yeah, let's go.
Ladies,
Good night.
congratulations.
So, another elimination in which Renee should have been gone, and she's still here, and I still have to deal with
Yeah,
it.
so this was actually great for me that everyone was hating on Renee. For me, that was great because I was the target of like bullying, and then Renee became the target of the bullying. So for me, that was actually wonderful. Because I thought all the girls were going to come after me, but they didn't. They just left me alone because I was like chill and didn't bother anyone and just kept to myself. But yeah, that's the end of that episode. The next two episodes are really big Annie-centric episodes. Those are kind of like my shining moments in the series. So I'm excited for the next two episodes. There's plot lines that center around me. This one I was more like in the background a little bit. So the next two episodes are really good. But if no one has any questions, thank you guys so much for this. And I'm excited for next week.